No fucking clue. Do you want to know what it's like to live in a converted camper van? Do you wonder how long it takes to drive from Florida all the way to Alaska? And how much this trip is going to cost? And the cost of the alternator plus the fixing will run us about $1,800. Make sure to stay tuned because we are going to tell you all about it. My name is Bastian Bakker and this is the world at your feet. My wife and I decided to quit our jobs, leave everything behind and start a journey around the world. Welcome to the starting point of the largest road trip in the world, from northern Alaska all the way to South Argentina, with more than 163 set destinations to visit, and we want you to join us. Tomorrow morning we're going to have a fresh start and we're going to start driving our trip to Alaska, and that's where the adventure will begin. Good morning and welcome to another beautiful day in Jacksonville, Florida. Last time as well. Right now we just left the gas station. I must say it was a better night's sleep than the night before. It wasn't that bad with all the trucks, so I pretty much slept through it. Today we're going to Pensacola to visit some friends. 5-hour drive ahead, up and away to Pensacola. So, last time, welcome to Florida. We're now in Pensacola, where we arrived yesterday to visit some friends. And this is quite nice. The friends that we visit are actually people that lived in Costa Rica. We did several houses for them, so it was really nice to reconnect and also to see the dog, of course. And funny enough, this is the house where I broke my hard drive, which initially started this whole Pan American Highway adventure. With that being said, after a long time planning and a long time coming, it's finally time to start the trip. We're gonna take you all the way to the final frontier. Our starting point of our adventure. This is the end of the road. The adventure begins now. Up, 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 and away! Good evening and welcome. It's 8 o'clock and we just arrived in Jackson, Mississippi. A long day, long drive. We've covered about 1,000 kilometers, which is pretty much. And we are at another pilot gas station. It's free parking, free Wi-Fi, free toilets. There's coffee, fast food restaurant. There's a shower, but $18 is too much. But we got our own shower. We can fill up water here as well. And we're going to keep the shower empty, or at least up to a third, to save on petrol costs. We're going to cook some food, and then we have a little area right over there. Put some chairs down. We're going to have our dinner. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button too. And we'll see you on the road. Ciao for now. This the other way around. So, our next stop is Little Rock, Arkansas. It's a 434 kilometers ride. Little Rock, Arkansas. Here we come. Welcome to Little Rock, Arkansas, where we will stay for the night. Tomorrow we're going to make another stretch to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And this is the 4th day that we've been enjoying camper life. And so far, we really like it. And also the roads here in the United States is very nice to drive. A lot of forest, a lot of farmlands, and it's a lot different than Costa Rica. No potholes. Now, I've been looking at this van and something is missing, I guess. Awesome. And now for this side. Magic! Up, and away! And after some food and a good night's sleep, we were ready for the next day. Good afternoon, we're still on Little Rock. Bit of a hiccup. This morning we wanted to get a SIM card. The problem with my phone, it doesn't read eSIMs and apparently also doesn't read American SIM cards. So that was a waste of our morning. Meanwhile it's 2:20 and we're still in Little Rock, 430 kilometers to go to Tulsa, which we're still going to do. We're going to just get there a little bit later than we have planned. So for now we're just going to enjoy our soup with these very cool and handy, I don't know how you call them, so that you don't burn your hands. So Kim, thank you very much. We'll see you on the road and we'll get back to you about the internet, and we'll see you in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Ciao for now. Despite the setback with the internet, we were thoroughly enjoying our trip. Along the interstate you will see a lot of these rest places where you can take a break, use the toilets and have some lunch before heading back on the road. Good morning and welcome to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Today we're going to go to Amadillo, Texas, which is about 643 kilometers. I'll put the mileage in the screen. After this we'll go to New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Alberta and British Columbia, Yukon Territory, and finally Alaska, USA. And I can't express enough how much I hate the cold. 4,889 kilometers to go. So without further ado, up and away to our next destination. A few things actually we see a lot on the road are storage units. A few other things we see a lot on the road are blown out pieces of tires. We see a lot of cars that are broke down alongside the road. A lot of roadkill. We see a lot of churches along the road, second-hand car dealers, and a lot of RV car dealers as well. Oddly, we didn't see any of them along research, but probably because most of the ones we see alongside the road are big, like huge trailers, huge RVs, which is more than the limit that we're allowed to drive. As we mentioned previously, that's probably why they didn't appear on our research. Back to the road. Driving here has really been a delight so far, as most of the road is just a straight stretch. So, cruise control on, sit back and enjoy the sightseeing. Good morning everybody and welcome to Amadillo, Texas. I did not have my coffee yet. Good morning everybody, welcome to Amadillo, Texas, where we stayed the night and we're ready to leave towards our next destination. We arrived here a lot later than planned. We didn't calculate that we only drive 60 miles an hour. Today we got another 700 kilometers on the way and we are ready to go. Denver, here we come. The first part of this trip consisted of long days behind the wheel just to get to our next destination, with beautiful scenery and ever-changing landscapes along the way. As we previously already visited the United States and seen most of the things we wanted to see, our primary goal was to get to Prudhoe Bay as soon as we could and be out of Alaska before the winter starts. But driving almost 9,000 kilometers is no small feat. And as we already learned in our previous travels, nothing ever goes the way you plan. You have to roll with the punches. But we'll get to that later on. A very Good morning and welcome to Denver, Colorado, where we arrived 2 nights ago and where we stayed an extra day to take a day off with some friends. Because we have been driving for 7 days, it was about the time to take a day off. And we went to see this beautiful place that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. And you have some spectacular views over Denver and over the area, which is really beautiful. So we're now at Lookout Mountain, west of Denver, and the views are absolutely spectacular. It goes as far as the eye reaches. You got a couple of plateaus, and then you can see the cities. You can see some lakes, and on the other side you can see the white mountaintops and snow in the distance. Really beautiful. So we're gonna continue our trip towards the north, and we'll see you on the road. And after a well-deserved break, we were ready to hit the road hard. And after another 771 miles, or 1240 kilometers, and an overnight pit stop in Gillette, Wyoming, we finally reached our last state before the Canadian borders. Welcome to Great Falls in Montana. Great Falls, Montana. Our final pit stop and our final state before we go into Canada. Very long drive. The scenery was absolutely stunning. We made a couple of pit stops to fly the drone, to have some lunch, enjoy the views. It's been a long day. It's very late. It's 2.5 hour drive from here to the border. It's another 10 days to get to Prudhoe, Alaska, which is our starting point. Now, however, we're coming into Calgary from the bottom. So what we're going to do, we're going to start our highlights, because we've got a couple of highlights in Calgary. Welcome to the Calgary Stampede. We're in a bunch of highlights in Banff. So we're going to start our adventure in Banff and Calgary. Welcome to the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Drumheller Valley. Then we make our way up to Prudhoe, Alaska, so that when we drive down the Pan American Highway, we don't have to make that loop and we can go straight down to Vancouver. It's 9:45, so it's very late. We're gonna go to sleep, as it's been a very long day driving. Tomorrow we're probably gonna go to the border and get to Calgary either tomorrow night or the day after tomorrow in the morning. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom here in the gas station and brush my teeth and off to bed. Good night. Welcome to Road Trip Diaries Day 10. Let's have the last leg of... Oh, there's one more thing I forgot to tell you. That really astonished us here in the States is the difference in gas prices in the different states. The cheapest one we found was $2.19, is that correct? $2.19, and the most expensive one was $3.79. $7.49 per gallon of gas. That's a lot of difference for gas, so it's a good thing to look up before you make such a trip to make sure where to gas up. Another thing is to always fill up your gas so you don't strand in the middle of nowhere, because that would be very unwanted. So, after the road, 305 kilometers to our final destination, in between which first we're gonna have our first border crossing of this trip, and then we are in Canada. Up, and away. So we've arrived at the border of Canada.
New text message.
Gaat even overnieuw. We arrived at the border in Panama. Panama. See, I'm confused now. Hi, we arrived at the border of Canada. So this is new for us, different than the ones we're used to in Costa Rica, where you just park your car and get your papers done before you get back into your car. I just followed in line, so I have no idea if we're doing it right or not. So let's find out. Border cross number 1.
Have you guys ever been up to Alaska before?
So we do want to visit some places.
Alright, have a good trip.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Are you rolling?
Mm-hmm.
That was the single most easiest border run we have ever done. No questions, no hassle, just showing the passport, ask a couple of questions about our trip, and off we go! We're in Canada! Woo! So this is the first time we're really in Canada. We got a lot of things to do here in Calgary. Be warned, eh? Bounce. This really is epic. And other places before we are going to get to Alaska. So the entire place is falling apart, but we made it in Canada. 2 happy campers, and we'll see you at the rest stop. For now, we're in Canada, eh? Let's check it out. Unfortunately, something else needed to be checked out first. So the car started making some funny noise, some rattling noise, so that's quite concerning. So it's Sunday evening, everything is closed of course, but I think tomorrow first thing we're gonna bring the car to a mechanic before we're gonna continue driving. So, to the garage. No bueno. If I don't know the first things about car, the first thing about cars, no clue. So that's the car telling us it's time for a checkup and a mandatory oil change. Luckily it still right, so before anything else happens, up and away to the garage. But that is for tomorrow. Right now I'm gonna make some food and off to bed. We're at the garage, as you can see. There's probably something at the belt. We don't know for sure, so they're gonna check that in a couple of hours. Luckily they got Wi-Fi inside, so we can still do some work on our computer. And then we have to wait to see what the problem is, if they can fix it, when they can fix it, and how much that's gonna cost. Of course, we don't really have much of a choice here. We really need to get the car fixed as soon as possible and continue our journey. So we'll keep you posted to see what we can do to solve the situation.
Aww.
So we have good news, bad news, sad news, worse news, and a little dash of sunshine. The good news is that they found the problem quite immediately. It's the alternator. And it needs to be replaced, which is the first bad news. It's been very hard to find the right alternator in the city or vicinity. There's only one, and the cost of the alternator plus the fixing will run us about $1,800. So for this being the first week of a trip, that's kind of a downer and a kick in the stomach. It is what it is. Pura vida. For now, under construction. So we have an update and some good news. We just went for some quick lunch, and when we got back we got the good news that they actually put in a new alternator. So we won't be staying in tonight, and we will be able to leave tonight towards Calgary and still be there on time for the special Calgary Stampede. So we're really excited about that. Of course, it's also going to cost a bit less money than we expected. So I just wait for it to be finished, and then we'll be on our way. Alright, first of all, if you're ever in the neighborhood and you need a good carriage, highly recommended, very quick service. A special thank to Mark and Arthur for the great quick work and the extra mile that they walked for us in order to get our car fixed today. So, bit loud traffic. It's now 5:45. We're on our way to Calgary. It's a 2-hour drive and I'm tired. It's been a day, but we're very, very happy and very enthusiastic. We got a new alternator, the oils got changed and everything just got checked up on the fluids, so the car should be okay, hopefully all the way to Argentina. Well, that's the story for next week. For now, we're off to Calgary and see you on our next adventure. Ciao for now. And with that, we were finally back on the road. And here is our damage report. Now, of course, we didn't really account for today. It was a little bit of an expensive day. It's $1,400. Now, between that and the high gas prices, the most expenses we have so far are the gas, and of course, these kind of setbacks we have as well. But hey, if you feel inclined to support us, you can. You can become a member by pressing the join button underneath the video. By only $1 a month, you can become a paid member. And of course, it's not all for nothing, because you are going to get a lot of perks, like seeing members only posts and our members only playlist with a ton of videos from all around the world. So, support our trip, become a member today.